just playing it cool. But when that box dropped this morning, I broke every rule. Slid to the LCS with a grin on my face. Ripped a whole case in the parking lot, no shame, no trace. There's a Sydney patch auto, I'd trade my soul. That Adam Squad's atomic, man, it's out of control. And those 53 retros got me lost in the days, like I'm chasing ghosts through a cardboard maze. You're my secret and not so secret lover, my cardboard queen like no other. I say I'm done, but I keep coming back for that sweet patch hit and that Crosby pack. You're my secret, shh, not so secret lover. I talk a big game on the podcast, say I won't be fooled, but the second I see green and gold, I'm totally schooled. I need that Hughes auto, that Bay Dog flare, even pulled a double, still didn't care. I told Josh I'm just sampling one box for the review, but 5 cases later, man, I think he knew. I'm stashing inserts like they're vintage wine. Can't quit you, Parkhurst, you're too damn fine. You're my secret and not so secret lover. Rookie rainbows, one after another. Every checklist drop, I lose control. Chasing my grails, feeding my soul. You're my secret, shh, not so secret lover. Look, I said I'd wait for ultimate, I said I'd save up for ice, but
Aw.
Aw. What a beautiful love song for Phil to his Parker's Champions on release day.
It was amazing. My cardboard queen.
Your Cardboard Queen. Welcome back, episode 301 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast. My name is Josh. I'm here with Baba Louie. I'm here with Phil. Hi, boys. Big weekend for you, Baba Louie. How's the graduation party of the century coming along?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
how'd that go?
Nonstop.
I guess so, eh?
Can't stop, won't stop, right?
Nope. Clean this, clean that. Set this up, put this up. Print this, print that,
You big.
fix this, do that. I'm all over it,
Honeydew
Yeah.
list has never been longer than
No.
it is right now.
but I'm tackling it.
You are, yeah. Philip, what's going on Friday night on Friday Nights with Phil?
Got a good show planned for this Friday. I have a bit of a curveball. I don't know what to do. We might have 2 guests. I don't think I like 2 guests because I talk so much. I
Mhm.
think one guest is always best. But I have a really great opportunity to bring on somebody that was very good friends with Jean Beliveau and also one of the biggest, I don't know, man. I don't want to say, but he's a huge Jean Beliveau collector as well.
Really?
And yeah, we'll see what we can do here. It was hooked up with a great friend of the show, and I'll reveal more information on Friday. But if it's not this Friday that the Jean Beliveau gentleman will be on, it will be the following Friday. And of course, it's Parker's Champions, my Cardboard Queen release week. So we'll
Yep.
be giving away a box of that. And I will also be opening up a box, my first box. The song is a lie. I have not bought any cards of the new
Right.
Parker's Champions, as I am quite housebound for a few more days with
Yeah.
my ankle. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's
And
the
Dave will
update
be
there?
there.
Are we having surgery or no?
No surgery. Found out yesterday. So I got to go I got to put a brace in the boot and then tighten that sucker up, and away we go. Lose some feeling in the foot. And yeah, 7 more weeks to go. 6 to 7 weeks.
Woo.
No surgery's a W, though, right?
Huge win. Yeah. I got a Weber 2 break, they call it. But my bone has realigned. So we're good to go.
I'm glad your bone is okay.
Good.
That's good news. GP Sports Cards is the official breaking partner of the Gong Show. Head right now to gpsportscards.com to get your spots for Grant's always exciting and entertaining Friday night breaks. You can watch them live on the GP Sports Cards YouTube channel. Phil, I heard, I did not see, but so Grant does every release day a video opening a box or a case or a few boxes, whatever he does. And he gave you a shout out for Parker's
Yeah.
champions, but he called
Yeah,
you
I
the
don't know.
loudmouth collector.
The loudmouth collector. And it wasn't even a slip. It just rolled off the tongue. I kind of like it.
That's amazing.
It's appropriate. I'm a loudmouth schnook. I'm aware.
You can also check out GP Breaking on Whatnots on Wednesday mornings. Typically, that's Riley who does them there, right? That's what you said?
Yeah, Riley's on
Okay.
he was on all this morning. He was doing a great job. Banger job.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Quick hockeychecklist.com update. We've been plugging away, adding the backlog of hockey sets that's never ending to the checklist site. Been focused on flagship, so added 2015-16 Series 2, 2016-17 Series 2, but both from...
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
In our group chat, when you finish a checklist, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of us and everything. Full macro, big hug.
Yeah.
I'm running out of emojis to respond to you, so I don't know. Do you want like a thumbs up? I feel like that's like passive aggressive. Do you want me to call you and say, "Holy, like wow"? Like, what do you want me to do? I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'm running out of things that I know what to do. So, because there's how many more checklists to go? Like 1,438.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
you
that's
gotta
gonna be it.
just
Keep
a lot of
sending new that works.
meh face. Whatever that meh face is.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
Well,
I'm running. I don't know. I'm so proud when
I
you're doing
sent
it.
like one of every 10 to you, but I sent the last one for two reasons because we hit a little bit of a milestone. Two milestones.
Okay.
First of all, we now have 150 different checklists on the site, so it's 150 different emojis you need to be creative and come up with.
I'm running out of nationalities to give you a smile.
Happy Syria Day? Well, no. And then with these new flagship editions, which has been the focus, we now have all flagship releases on the site from 2015 Series 1 through 24-25 extended.
That's pretty big.
Show do.
Yeah.
Trying to get
Modern. All modern is updated.
Mm-hmm. A lot of meat and potatoes, but if you're going to be a checklist site, you got to have flagship, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, okay. Next update, Discord, very quickly. Behind the Bench episode 5 is live for all of our Discord members. Thank you again to our boy IFC, Irish Flyers Collector, the best expo mom that ever lived, for entertaining and informing us all in Discord each week. And I think down the road, we'll maybe start making some of his episodes more public. The old ones, you got to be a member of Discord to get all the new stuff. We also have a winner in our 24-25 NHL Playoffs Bracket Challenge, Beard Boz, whose favorite team just won the Stanley Cup. Well, not only did that happen, he also gets a box of 24-25 SPX headed his way. So congrats to Rob winning that. And then we'll be tabulating the results from the 5K challenge probably this week and declaring the winner there too. So we'll be sending more boxes to various winners in our contest that happen in Discord.
More like next week.
Yeah. And then lastly, if you want to support our show, if you want to join our community in Discord, it's very easy to do. It's done via Patreon. You can support the Gong Show for as little as $5 a month. Be one of the first 299 supporters of our show. Forever get that title. You get access to our Discord server, all the stuff that we do there, and can watch Neil's show Behind the Bench every week, every Tuesday when it's... To support our show, just go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on the Become a Patron link at the top of the page, or go to Patreon directly, patreon.com, search for Hockey Cards Gong Show. There's a link in the show description in both YouTube and the podcast apps for the good listener, and then in our Instagram and TikTok profiles too. Baba Louie, got the game plan?
I got the game plan. Let's jump right into this. We're going to start with get to know your Hall of Famers. And then it's Florida goes back to back. And what's next for McDavid and the Oilers? Got a little oil spill going on. And it's some hobby news. After that, we're going to talk about 2024 Young Gun gem rates. And then it's new product releases and any personal pickups.
Okay, boys, here we go. So we teased last week.
It's a big one.
This should be a fun edition of Get to Know Your Hall of Famers. It, of course, is where we are profiling every single Hockey Hall of Fame player. We started with the very first Hall of Fame class in 1945 and have been working our way to present day. For each player, we do a quick bio, cover why you should care about them, and then look at their hobby markets. Today's Hall of Famer is a huge one in both the history of hockey and, of course, in the hobby as well. Maurice Richard. So you guys ready to learn more about Rocket Richard?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, buddy.
absolutely. How you gonna
Never
go
looks
over?
great in photos. He looks a little scary. Like
What? He looks amazing in this photo. Look at the passion, la passion.
Oh, I know. Very intense. Like
Yeah,
those
yeah.
eyes could burn a hole through you. Okay, here we go. Joseph Henri Maurice Rocket Richard lived from 1921 until passing away in 2000 at the age of 78. He was born in Montreal and would pass away there too, so lifelong resident. Rocket Richard was 5 foot 10 inches tall, 180 pounds, and was a left shot right wing. Played his entire career that lasted from 1942 until 1960 with the Montreal Canadiens. Only won the Stanley Cup 8 times.
Mhm.
Ho-hum.
Mhm.
Was a one-time Hart Trophy winner. In 978 career NHL games, he scored 544 goals, added 422 assists for 966 points. When Richard retired in 1960, the Canadiens immediately retired his number 9, and the Hall of Fame waived its 5-year waiting period and inducted him into the Hall straight away. So that's why he is in the class of 1961. Post-retirement, Richard held a largely ceremonial role at the Canadiens. Then he kind of had a front office role, and he wanted, I think they saw him more as a figurehead than a hockey decision maker. He didn't like that very much. Feelings got hurt, and he ended up leaving the franchise for a number of years until they would reunite in 1981. And he resumed his role as a team ambassador, I think, until the time he died. And they probably just gave him a check a year, every month just for being Rocket Richard, which he
Mhm.
deserves at that point. Why should we care about Maurice Richard? Well, Maurice Richard was the first player to score 50 goals in a season. In the middle of World War II, while playing with a broken ankle for most of that year, Rocket Richard became the first player ever to score 50 goals, and he did it in 50 games.
And Phil
He
can't
scored-
even go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can play hockey.
Ooh.
I can work satellite-ish from the internet.
He scored his 50th goal in the last game of the season, a dramatic backhand goal against the Bruins, sealing an all-time milestone. This was when seasons, again, were only 50 games long. He did it with no helmet, no curved stick, no protective gear, and almost no power plays. It would take 36 years before anyone else did it. Mike Bossy and
That's crazy. Who was it?
Bossy, 88.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In 1944, Richard scored 5 goals, had 3 assists in a single playoff game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. What most fans didn't know is he was playing with a limited vision in one eye due to a previous injury. He tied the single game playoff scoring record while basically half blind. And it said afterward, I could see just enough to find the net.
Aw, that's adorable.
Now, his nickname did not come from marketing. Teammates gave him the nickname Rocket because of how fast he accelerated with the puck. One said he didn't skate, he launched. It defined his brand of explosive hockey. He inspired generations of French Canadian kids to believe they could not just play, but dominate the NHL. Richard was also the first player to 500 career NHL goals, and he was the league's first true sniper. His milestone cards and, of course, vintage memorabilia carry deep historic weight in the hobby. Richard is, of course, the namesake of the Rocket Richard Trophy, awarded annually to the player with the most goals in the season. Maurice Richard was one of the NHL's first true superstars. Before Richard, hockey was gritty and regional, and after him, it had a hero, a name, a story. He made fans believe that one man could dominate a game and carry a team. And also, Richard transcended hockey. He wasn't just the best player, he was a symbol of toughness, pride, and perfection, like Babe Ruth to baseball or Michael Jordan to basketball. He was the first to make hockey feel epic. People packed the Montreal Forum just to watch him skate, shoot, or explode with emotion. His intensity created drama, his goals created headlines, and his fights made fans roar. Before Richard, stars were often defensemen or gritty centers. Richard showed that pure goal scorers could be heroes, paving the way for players like Hull, Bossy, Gretzky, and Ovechkin. One of the most famous events in hockey history was the Richard Riot. On March 17th, 1955, NHL President Clarence Campbell suspended the Rocket for the rest of the 1954-55 season and playoffs after he struck a linesman during a violent game in Boston. To Canadians fans, especially French Canadians, the suspension felt personal. Richard wasn't just a player, he was a symbol of pride for Quebec's French-speaking population. Many felt Campbell was treating Richard unfairly, reflecting deeper resentment towards how English-speaking elites ran Canadian institutions, including the NHL. When Campbell attended the next Canadians' home game at the Forum, fans pelted him with eggs, shoes, and debris.
Take that, Clarence.
A tear gas bomb was set off. The game was forfeited, and chaos spilled into the streets. Over 50 people were injured, and dozens of businesses were looted. Montreal police arrested more than 100 people. Damages were estimated in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, which was an enormous sum for the time. The Richard Riot is seen as a turning point in Quebec history, an early flashpoint in the province's quiet revolution. Richard later pleaded with fans to stop the violence, showing humility and leadership that elevated him even further in Quebec culture. For hockey historians and collectors, it marks the moment when a player's legacy transcended the game.
As a Canadian, when I was growing up 35 years ago, the French English thing, it lasted. I mean, it's still around. It's just not as prominent. But like one of my best friends had a cottage in the Maritimes, and when I went with him and his dad didn't like Quebec so much that we would go across the border. We'd have to go across the border, and then they would circle Quebec. So like that's, I mean, I don't know if it's racist, culturist. I don't know what that, but that's stupid. That is such a, but that existed when I was a kid. I don't hear much about it anymore. I mean, it's silly. There's other things that people complain about, but the French English thing, if I experienced it growing up, I could only imagine how bad it was back then. And for Richard to emerge as one of the greatest hockey players of all time, and him to break that barrier for French Canadians, that is massive up here. Massive. Because it's decades after. It still didn't punch through, it helped, but it didn't punch all the way through. So that is that's massive for the French Canadians, what Richard did, and for the game of hockey and the province of Quebec. So good on him.
That's insane. Literally drive around.
Oh, lots. That's just my buddy's dad. Lots of people. I've heard that so much. Not in the last like 15, 20 years, but that's how much. It's the same. It's the same the way back, right? Like if you go to northern Quebec, I mean, they don't like a lot of Ontario people. I mean, I don't know why, but I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing in smaller pockets of rural areas, mind you. And I live 15 minutes away from Quebec, and I absolutely love Quebec. So you want to know what's not funny? I'm in Ontario. As a small business, I can't go to Quebec to do work. Like if someone calls me to chop a tree down on the Gatineau side, I'm legally not allowed.
Why?
But because Quebec has bylaws and provincial laws set in place for their workers, which it makes sense. But does Ontario? No.
So they can come to Ontario and you can't go there?
50% of our province is built from contractors from Quebec.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild,
that does not seem fair at all.
Wow, fair. There's what's fair in life. Doesn't matter. Just ignore it. Just ignore it and work around it.
So with the pantheon of like legendary hockey figures in Canada, would I be correct in saying it's Wayne Gretzky, Gordie Howe, then Rocket Richard?
Yeah. I think of Richard before Howe, kind of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't think maybe others do. I'm not sure, but I was born in Montreal and I'm live very close to Montreal. My heart's kind of a little bit shared in Montreal. Nothing against Saskatoon. Sorry, Carter. Sorry, Justin. Yeah. All the books I read had Rocket Richard, not Gordie Howe.
Gotcha.
Mostly,
Well, let's look at the Rocket Richard hobby market. Even though Maurice Richard made his NHL debut in 1942, his rookie card would not be produced until the 1951 Parker set. Think about that. It's 9 years later.
And it was
where
a
he would-
baby card.
Yeah, baby cards. That being said, his rookie card is one of the most iconic cards in all the hockey hobby. This PSA 8.5 is the highest selling copy, sold for $75,000 US dollars in July of 2021. And from that point on, there would be just about a Rocket Richard card produced every year, almost, for the remainder of his playing days through the 1961 sets. I think the one exception is 56, 57. I picked out, I think 3 of his cards that I really liked, and I'm sure others have their favorites. So the next one that I wanted to highlight was the 1953 Parkhurst Rocket Richard. It's a horizontal card. This PSA 8.5's highest selling copy, sold for $39.22 USD last October. Then I really like the 1955 Parkhurst, which I just think is an awesome card. This is the set with the Jacques Plante rookie, where the bottom border is almost impossible to have in great condition, the red border. And this PSA 8, which is like a PSA 12 in any other set, will last sold for $5,100 US in February of 2018. And then the last card I picked is the 1958 Parkhurst, where I just it's kind of a different and cool card. And this PSA 9 is a high selling copy, sold for $4,448 USD just a couple months ago in April. So that, boys, is your Hockey Hall of Famer, Maurice the Rocket Richard. Anything I missed, Phil, or left out that you think is important?
Oh, probably 98%, but we're it's a quick, brief history, scratch the surface. I think you hit all the very important points. I think you did a great job.
Well, and it's kind of fun to get into these more iconic names and less of the owl period of the who period of hockey.
Have you guys heard of the hockey sweater book? You know the hockey sweater?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you got to check that out. Check out the hockey sweater. It's a big children's book up here. Well, I mean, I like it. It's great, but the Maurice Richard is in there. It's a very Leafs Montreal Canadiens thing. Yeah.
It's kind of at your grade level. A lot of pictures, a few words, really big ones, like 5-letter.
I like illustrations in my novels sometimes. Yeah. Sort of Shannara. Anyways.
Well, what was your favorite 2024-25 moment? Because the season's over, boys. We have the new but old Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers, went back-to-back. Wow, that's a great photo.
That's a great picture. Yeah, that's fantastic. Did you guys see Barkov at like 2 a.m? He's all pinned, and he's holding the cup for the staff, right? He's on the ice. I'm assuming he's minorly intoxicated. And he's like, oh, and all the staff were like, I don't know. It was a very raw human moment, and it was great to see.
Was that before or after they took a big chunk out of the cup?
What happened? They took a chunk?
You should see the picture of it. It is.
Well, it adds character.
Yeah.
What do you think did it, Marchand or Kachuk?
I think it said in less than 5 hours.
Amazing. That's what it's there for. Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty amazing feat to go back-to-back and be in the Cup Finals 3 years in a row. So, a lot of talking points here that I want to get your guys' feedback on. Shortly after the win, Matthew Tkachuk was asked if the Panthers are a dynasty now, and his response was something to the effect of, hell yes.
No, well, of course he's going to say that. You're not a dynasty. You got to win 4. Is it 4? 4 out of 10 is a dynasty, no?
I thought it was 3.
Yeah, sure. 3's good. Win one more, Matthew, and
all right. Sam Bennett was your Conn Smythe winner. 15 goals, 7 assists for 22 points over the playoffs. You guys on board with that? Any complaints there?
Yeah, you can't go wrong. I mean, analytically, the nerds don't like him, right? But the eye test loves him.
Empty nets count, right?
Sure do. Well, and he was a tour de force. It's not just the
play. He's a bigger gamer than an empty net guy.
I'm kidding. Settle down.
Oh, okay. Well, it's hard to tell sometimes.
Sam Reinhart had a huge game 6, 4 goals. Yeah. Wow.
Or that's who I was thinking of. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
Oh, okay.
If you didn't
the most goals in a single Stanley Cup Finals game is held by the guy we just talked about, Rocket Richard, who had 5. In game 2 of the 1944 Stanley Cup Finals, he scored all 5 goals in the victory in Toronto. Reinhart is now one of 6 players to have 4 goals in a Cup Finals game, and the last to do it was Richard again in 1957. So it's been
Wasn't he picked before Draisaitl in 2014? What was it, Bennett or Reinhart who was picked before? One of those two guys
maybe
was picked before Draisaitl because it was Ekblad. It was
yeah,
it
we went over
Ekblad
that
first?
not too long ago.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't, who
don't
cares?
remember.
It's pretty funny. I'll still take Leon over both of those guys, but it's you know.
Ekblad was number 1 to Florida. Reinhart went to the Sabres
Reinhart,
second.
okay.
Then it was Draisaitl and then Sam Bennett.
And to Buffalo and Calgary, right? Like
Yeah.
now they're on the Panthers.
Winning Stanley Cups.
Oh, I love it. It's amazing. Go Buffalo. Yeah, it's a good job, guys. And Calgary too. They let go of how you doing, Huberto?
Yeah. Ooh.
Ooh.
Some may say the Stanley Cup is where legends are made, and maybe some possible Hall of Fame spots were secured or more secured last night, the night before. So Bobrovsky, now a double Stanley Cup winner, a double Vezina winner, Hall of Famer in your guys' mind at this point?
I'm not good on the goalie stuff. I don't know. Ask Louis.
Yeah.
I think so.
Why not? Throw him in there. What the hey?
Throw him in there. Well, Phil Barkov is the greatest player
Yeah,
of all
of
time.
course. Hall of Famer all the way. Yeah.
Sure. Marchand, has he now done enough?
Yeah, of course.
He was a shoe-in before this, anyways.
Yeah, he's gonna be remembered. Hobby hates him, but he's.
What about Matty Tkachuk? Is he the shakiest, most maybe category?
I love Matthew Tkachuk. I'm a Brady guy, so I can't give Matthew too much love. And Keith looks scary behind closed doors. Like, I don't know, something about. I'm gonna focus just on Brady. He's my guy. Yeah.
What do you think, Louis?
I don't know yet. I mean, it's
still early. He's only 27, so he should
Right.
have, in theory, right, 7-8 good years left. I mean, be halfway through his career.
He's a soldier. He's a gamer. He's got a lot of juice when he plays, and I think everybody would want him on his team, on their team. And Hall of Fame, though, I don't know.
Is he the most hurt hockey player of all time?
Yeah, he's always banged up. Eh? Well, he's just like Richard, just like Rocket Richard. Here's one thing in a lot of books I've read. For years, he was made fun of because he was French, and the French in Quebec is a little rougher. It's not Parisian French. So he had years, over a decade of trial and tribulation playing in opposing arenas. I'm not saying Matthew Tkachuk has anything close to that, but he is a target day in, day out, every time he plays. And look, he holds his head up high, and what just happened? He won the ultimate trophy. So I think he just gave a big middle finger to everybody, and he's smiling ear to ear,
Mm-hmm.
Did you see he played all the playoffs with a hernia and a torn abductor muscle?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the abductor?
It's below the resistor.
Over there a little ways.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it was completely.
Does a conductor have an abductor?
It depends on the flux capacitor.
Right.
Oh. Okay.
1.21 gigawatts. Quiet, Marty.
Matthew Tkachuk has played 642 games, has 240 goals, and 636 points, so just under a point per game. And he's, like I said, 27.
And Calgary traded him. I'm sorry, I can't get over that. That's so crazy.
Got to ask the question again, even though it's not the first time recently. Are we still on the same page that, again, victory does nothing significant to permanently alter the hobby markets for any of the guys we just talked about, that they are what they are?
Maybe Marchand, maybe some Florida savvy high-tech billionaire will want, or that'd be California, but whatever. Some Gator guy will.
Nightclub operator. That's more.
Yeah, some nightclub Florida man. He could go out, buy a big Marchand card or two and throw a curveball in card ladder, but other than that, I don't think so.
I'm sure as much as the goalie really could get a bump, I'm sure Officer Bob will get a little bump here after that.
What's next? Okay, so, I mean, I guess the only thing I'd add to that is maybe if not a hobby market bump, makes them stronger PC guys, right?
Yeah.
Important aspect.
I think it'd be more fun to play Oilers GM. Do you want to do that?
Oh, we're going to. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. That's coming up very soon. What else? Oh, I hope Upper Deck was able to get some good memorabilia for this postseason for like the cup
Agreed.
or game used. That would be
Or the tears from McDavid. Maybe they cure cancer. Quick, he's crying. Get him.
Here's a question Louis threw in the mix here. Is Florida the new hockey capital?
Check this out.
What a run since 2020. Now, mind you, Phil, your country, Canada, the birthplace of hockey, where hockey is life is hockey. You haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1993. And Florida, the Florida man, has been dominating the Stanley Cup finals and cup over the last 5 years. How does that feel?
Just shows you how oranges, tangerine, and vitamin D are good for the soul, right? Maybe they're golfing more. I don't know.
And no state income taxes. Maybe that's the...
All right. Yeah.
No, I don't care. That's such nonsense. I hate that.
The smartest thing that ever came out of Bettman's mouth a couple weeks ago, when he was saying Florida and Tampa sucked forever and nobody cared, and now that they're good, you're worried about no state sales tax.
Oh, is that what he said? Good. It's such a loser argument. Like,
oh, I'm going to push back on that a little bit. To take the two brothers, if and when Brady and Matthew compare their pay stubs, I'm getting it's shocking. One being in Ottawa and another one being in Florida. Shocking.
But they both get paid in USD, no?
Yeah, but Matthew's not.
You just have to pay Ottawa taxes.
Yeah, good luck with that, Brady. Well, I don't. Our Porsche dealership in Ottawa got a tax break, so maybe the Senators do. They got a $400,000 tax break. You can Google that. It's pretty funny. During COVID too, it was great.
Oh, COVID stuff.
Okay. No, I don't know. Yeah, it was during COVID. People need Porsches, so they needed a handout. You Google it. I implore you, good listener, Google Porsche dealership in Ottawa. It's amazing.
And for the good listener that's not right now looking at this slide I put up, in 2020, this is for the Florida teams. This is why I thought it was so crazy. In 2020, Tampa won the Stanley Cup. In 2021, Tampa won the Stanley Cup. In 2022, Tampa went to the Stanley Cup. In 2023, the Panthers went to the Stanley Cup. And then obviously in 24 and 25, they won the dang thing. So we've been in Florida for the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's big spit on my country's face. Thanks.
Well, let's talk about your country. Let's talk about Edmonton. I think we can all agree that now, in retrospect, after 6 games, that the Oilers lost, but they were outclassed. Florida's a better team.
Yes.
The right team won. So we'll start there. Losing Zach Hyman for the postseason probably hurt, but I don't think that would be enough to make the difference. Do you? See that big of a deal?
No, I do not. I think it hurt them, but I don't think it would have affected the score of yesterday's game. They would have pulled that goalie 8 minutes to go, and no matter what.
Yeah. You know, I love the legacy conversation. I saw this in the article, I saw this in an article on The Athletic on Tuesday night that suggested that both McDavid and Draisaitl today, right now, are the greatest players to never win a Stanley Cup. And
I'd probably agree with that, yeah.
They put them ahead of the runners-up, in their opinion, are Marcel Dion, Joe Thornton, and Jerome McGinley.
Yeah, well, McGinley's a sweetheart story, and he was a phenomenal player, but he's not in the same stratosphere as Draisaitl and McDavid. Yeah. And listen, I just pissed off a lot of Canadians. I stand by what I said. Stand by what I said. He's a good Canadian boy. I get it, but come on, be honest with yourself.
I still feel, though, that McDavid will win one. He should have 10 good. He's 27 or 28. So he should have 10 good years, you would hope, right? God willing, if he stays healthy. You guys still confident that eventually he'll find a way to get it done?
Yes, 100%. I think. Well, yeah. I mean, you definitely need a goalie. I would just immediately trade Draisaitl. I would trade him for. What would I do? I would probably trade him for Sidney Crosby. So you go center for center, and then I would have Tristan Jarry as my goalie, and then I would want another first-round pick from the Penguins, and they will do that, and then McDavid will win the cup with Crosby. That's my hot take. They're not going to win. You can't keep Draisaitl and McDavid together. You can't.
You have all takes on everything in hockey.
I think I had a good take. Okay, how about this? How's it working out for everybody? Every person for 2 years has been saying, no, you can't do that. You can't. Okay, how'd it work out yesterday, 2 days ago?
I've been saying it since the beginning of this whole playoffs. He's not going to win the Stanley Cup if he's just going to be an assist machine. He's got to bury that biscuit.
I don't know, man. You Wayne Gretzky got traded. You trade one of them. I'd prefer it not to be McDavid. I know Carter's losing it right now. He's probably not going to talk to me for a week.
Oh, I think Carter gave me a better idea than you have. I mean, no offense, but so let me run through this real quick.
Yeah, Crosby to the Oilers is a horrible
They're never
thing.
going to do that. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Sydney would do it. Listen, if Sydney went to, what's that kid's name? He's younger than me. I forget. Whatever, Toronto kid. If Sydney went to him and said, "This is what we're doing," I think it would happen. Sydney runs the show over there.
I don't think Sydney wants to. He wants to be a Penguins guy.
I don't know. I disagree with you. Crosby would play with McDavid next year in a heartbeat. I don't care how much he loves Pittsburgh. Anyways, go ahead.
We talked about the goalie situation last show. There are some complicating factors that are going to make it tougher to upgrade the position. So the Oilers are projected to have just under $12 million in cap space. Evan Bouchard is also an RFA that will be looking for a raise. He only makes $3.9 million now.
Oh my God.
And he was pretty shaky in game 6 and defensively pretty shaky. Great offensive player, but not so good on the defensive side. You also have to factor in that a McDavid extension. He's only got 1 year left on his deal, I think. That's coming up. And the only free agent goalie right now is Jake Allen. So to your point, Phil, it looks like there would have to be a trade. Now, what our boy Carter from Saskatoon is a diehard Oilers fan. What he said is trade Bouchard, even though he's an RFA, it had to be a sign and trade for a goalie and some more of a stay-at-home defenseman.
And what else? You need a lot more. You need better players on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You need
He's
better
saying
players.
that Bouchard, that you have enough offense where they need a little more help on the defensive side of the puck. And of course, goal. It seems like they missed their opportunity last summer to get a goalie. There's just more available.
Klingberg sucks. I don't even know why they went to get him. I mean, anyway, I don't know. Evander Kane should never put a jersey on again. Yeah.
Did you just say last show that Evander Kane might be better than Draisaitl, and now he goes to never put on a jersey? You did, because there was a mailbag question that said if McDavid left, who would be the best player on the team? And you said,
that's a joke. I mean, that's
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Anyways, if Evander Kane's behavior at the end of that game, like, he's a grown man. Did you guys see? He was just hacking and slashing everybody. That was ridiculous. Like, you're someone's dad. Like, what are you doing? Oh, it's bizarre to me. It's like throwing sand in some kid's eye. Well, that used to be fun, I guess. If you weren't the kid getting sand in.
McDavid legacy delayed, at least for now. What happens to his hobby market over the summer? Do we see now? Could it be a buying time for McDavid? A little bit of a hit, do you think?
Hope so. Yeah. Sell your McDavid cards. He's not that good.
Yeah, terrible. Can't score.
To Phil.
Terrible. Yeah. Sell him. DM me. No, I think his cards will be fine. I don't. They're not going to go up. I don't think so.
The bummer in all this is that had the script been flipped, it would be so fun right now. People would be going crazy. Record this, record that. Oh my God, 18,000 McDavid cards sold in the last 3 days. Canada's burning down the country. They're so happy. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada.
Aren't they doing that anyways right now?
No, we don't know how to light a fire, buddy.
Really?
Not really. Well, so some people know how to and blame it on other things. Yeah, for sure. The respectability has not blanketed my country of hockey again. Yeah. And World Championships didn't help either. Can't wait for the Olympics. Let's go, Bennington.
Yeah. Well, you're great hope.
That's
be awesome in those games.
That's where McDavid will shine. So
looking ahead to the 25-26 season, the sports books, Las Vegas, has determined that the 3 cup favorites are Florida, shocking,
Dallas,
Edmonton, and Colorado.
and Colorado. They
That's
put
the
Edmonton
safest
back in there,
three.
huh?
Would you guys be happy, or do you want to see a 3rd straight Stanley Cup Finals between Edmonton and Florida, or are you ready to move on?
Move
No,
on.
I'd love that. I would
Nope.
love that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What if Edmonton lost 3 times in a row, though?
No,
Would that
they're not,
be-
because Crosby's going to score the second golden goal for the Oilers.
to win the
How
Silver
weird would-
Stanley Cup.
How weird would Sydney look in an Oilers uniform, eh? That's bizarre. He would look weird. He'd look weird in anything, I guess. Everyone looks good in the Dallas Stars. Sorry, boys, but I'm just going to say it. They do. You can put anybody in a Dallas Stars uni and they look good.
I got my money on Buffalo and San Jose.
San Joe's.
I hope it's not a lot, because that's
Blown away San Jose's in California. I thought it was in Florida. It's crazy.
Oh boy.
Really.
Yeah, I didn't know that till like
Oh,
last
wow.
week.
Do you remember that, Vlad? You
Yeah, I
forgot.
thought he
remember.
was joking though.
Oh,
No, I was dead serious. I thought San Jose was in Florida. I had no idea.
Okay. Well, there you go, boys. It's the off season. Hey, Louis, the Wild are undefeated.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
that's good.
We're
Finally.
technically in the playoff race again.
It's
So-
a quick off season. It'll be quick.
Yeah, it'll go fast.
Mhm.
It's a lot of fun too, and we're gonna have a lot of off-season topics coming up. So, how do you guys, just as a hockey fan, not talking cards, but how do you rate 25 or 24-25 NHL season? Like, give a letter grade A to F.
Oh, I had a B plus.
Yeah.
I had a great time. It's been the last time in like 10 years. I've really enjoyed the hockey season. Might have something to do with you guys, but and the good cards I've been
A lot
buying.
of talent, a lot of young talent. So
Mhm.
that's
Yeah, it's exciting. I feel rejuvenated as an NHL fan. Very
Oh.
excited to see Celebrini and Mitchkov get a Demidov next year. That'll be great. Yeah,
Mhm.
lots of
Nice.
fun.
Coaching.
Aw, so cute.
Had a little bit of everything this year.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Slab Sharks, Gong Show partner and sponsor. We're thankful for their support of the show. The current Slab Sharks weekly eBay auction ends tonight. We're going to be live starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time on the Gong Show YouTube channel, covering all the key cards in the auction, having some fun with everyone in the chat. We hope to see you all there. A bunch of big news on the Slab Shark front, too. First, they've secured something big. It's a secret. We're a special 10-day auction starts June 23rd. Very big card. You can take your guesses, but you keep your guesses to yourself, Phil. Secret keeper.
Can I not say them? Do we
No.
not supposed to say it?
No.
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't like. I knew you were gonna get like squinchy face.
Wow,
kinda
I
fun.
don't like being told
Kinda-
not to do something.
I know you don't.
What, you
You
mean this
can't.
thing? Boop. Don't press this
Beep.
button. What, this button?
So it is a very big deal, and very excited for that. Also, another thing that I think is a big deal, and we're scheduled to have Karn on the show, I think next Thursday from Slab Sharks, and I want to ask him about this. They're working on a verified payment system, which will enable them to pay you faster when your auction items get paid. You know, when the auction ends and the card is paid for, and so always innovating there at Slab Sharks, and makes me proud that we've partnered with them as the official U.S. consignment partner.
Leading
Oh.
edge innovators.
Yeah, they are. Now, why do so many hockey card collectors choose to have Slab Sharks help them sell their cards on eBay? Well, first, they do all the work. You just ship them to Slab Sharks. If you're in Canada, drop them off at a show. If you're in the U.S., no worries. You can ship them to us. We have a U.S. mailing address for Slab Shark submissions and avoid all the hassle and expense of shipping internationally, which is a huge deal. Then the Slab Sharks team takes it from there, and you're basically done. Plus, your cards get included in the largest weekly hockey auction there is, and that's not by accident. More than 5,000 cards this week alone, and seems to get bigger and bigger as time goes on. So for complete consignment info, check out slabsharks.com. And if you're a U.S. hockey card collector, you want to list your cards in the biggest weekly hockey auction. The link is in the bio in YouTube and the podcast apps to submit through us, The Gong Show, fast and easy, and of course, the U.S. submission address. Oh, Louis, housekeeping item.
Just one quick thing. Help if you guys are submitting to us through the US, because I know you are, because we're getting hammered with a whole bunch of them. You can just do me a favor and help me out. And in the affiliate name, put Hockey Cards Gongshow and then 45 in the ID. It'd help me out tremendously because I keep a spreadsheet I do on all this other stuff, and then getting your stuff packed up and sent out. Just one less thing for Josh and I to roll through. If you could just help us out with that. I'm not trying to sound like a curmudgeon, but please.
Okay. Thank you.
When they print the form, isn't 45 on it?
Yes, but
Sometimes.
yeah, if you're handwriting the form and submitting it to us, please fill that crap in. It would just help out immensely.
If they sign up through the link, though, Phil, that all that's
Yeah.
automatically filled out, and it's just one little less thing to do.
Okay.
Hobby news.
Hobby news.
Gathered information presented to you.
Oh wow,
Yeah, not
that's
bad.
something new. Fanatics Fest this weekend already snuck up on us. So the second, I guess, annual Fanatics Fest will be held this weekend in New York City at the Javits Center, a huge conference center in New York City. Fanatics Fest, I would call it a crossover show, combines celebrities, hobby, culture, fan events, and memorabilia. None of us have gone yet. I would love to someday. What about you guys? Is this something that interests you? Would you like to check it out?
It's more. It's a sports fanatic event
Mhm.
with some hockey cards at it a little bit. That's what it is,
Yeah,
right?
probably
It's not a
bit.
card show
No.
with other stuff. It's like my golf trip. It's my boys' trip with a little bit of golf. They call it a golf trip. I call it a boys' trip. So
Gotcha.
I think this is a sporting event for sporting fanatics,
Mhm.
and with that happens to have some hockey cards or sports cards there. So I'm not that keen on going. The big American sports I don't really care about. So
I want to hire somebody with a camera to follow you around New York City, though. That would be awesome.
dude, I am dying to take a step in your country. I can't wait. I'm very excited. A couple months. I'm very.
What about
excited.
you, Louis? Any interest in ever attending Fanatics Fest?
Yeah. No, I don't know when. I don't know. It's really not on my radar, to be honest with you.
The babes there?
No, no women. You didn't know that? There's a law in New York City against women. Only
Yeah, right. Yeah,
the
right.
big sausage.
Le sausage?
Le sausage.
I don't know.
Well-
Sports brings out all the hotties, don't it? Doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. You've seen our chat on our live show.
Yeah, that's our moms and wives. Ugh.
The feedback from last year's event was, I think, overall pretty positive. Lots of people, lots of excitement. There were some complaints, though, getting back to the card side from dealers, that there wasn't enough done to maybe funnel traffic to the tables. Like, I think if you were expecting a card show, you probably weren't pleased. It's a little bit of everything, like we talked about. It'll
No
be interesting.
PSA.
What?
No PSA there. PSA is not at Fanatics Fest.
Oh, really? They have the
heard
outs?
that.
Oh, well.
I don't know. I found that odd. But maybe that just shows you it's not a big card show.
Yeah.
It's a more memorabilia show. That's what that means to me.
The site does say that there'll be more than 200 dealers and 700 tables. So it's not tiny.
Okay, well, that's a big card show. Why did you stop me before? I don't know, man. I've never been.
Yeah, but is it 700 tables of cards, or is it 700 tables and the collectibles? part?
Memorabilia, collectibles, Pokemon.
I like the cut of your jib, Louis.
Mm.
There'll also be a handful of NHL players at the event, either participating in photo ops or signing autographs. All three Hughes bros plan to be there: Jack, Luke, and Quinn. Then a few Rangers players and legends: Hank, Henrik Lundqvist, Mike Richter, and Matt Rempe. And then finally, Jaromir Jagr plans to attend the.
It's funny they kept Jagger in the Penguins uni. Wouldn't they want to put him in the
Rangers?
New York? Yeah.
Devils.
Maybe Fanatics doesn't know enough about hockey to realize that he played for the Rangers.
I'm going to bank on that's a yes.
I'm guessing the hockey specific stuff is pretty small. I mean, it is a very broad show. They have Olympics.
Well, these aren't chump change players, brother. These you got King Henrik.
No. These are premier players, but a lot of NFL, of course. And I think the big push this year is WWE because Fanatics just got the license. So there's going to be lots of wrestling people there, I think.
Sweet.
This next story is fascinating. And I think the dollar figures are going to blow your minds.
Don't do the noise, though. Don't do the. Just say the thing. Don't. You don't have to.
I don't like to be told what to do.
Okay, well, me neither. So do what you want. I'd prefer.
Does it bother you?
Go ahead, Josh.
This story comes from CLLCT. How would you say that? How would you say it, Phil?
I would not want. I don't want to say that word. I don't know. It's like my moisture for the women. You know
Well,
what?
sorry. Back to
Women
the,
don't
back
like.
to the,
Women don't like to say moisture. Some
They don't like
women.
to say moist.
It's just
moist. There you go. Yeah, moist.
Yeah.
Don't like
Maybe
a
I
moist
like it.
cake.
I like a moist take.
Cake.
What?
Cake.
Oh, cake. Oh, right.
A piece of wood that was left in an umbrella stand for many years, decades, has been discovered to be one of the most important sports artifacts in the world.
What?
So a gentleman bought his grandmother's house in 1980 and found a 43-inch long wooden stick that had a curve at the bottom. He ended up giving it to his sister and her husband rather than throwing it away, and they kept it in their umbrella stand for decades. In 2015, this couple saw an article about a hockey stick from the 1850s that had sold for $2.2 million at auction. It made them think of the wood stick in their umbrella stand. So they took the stick to a historian who identified it as an early stick from the late 1800s, around the time when the first organized hockey games were played. After its discovery, they had the stick appraised, and it came in at a value of $3.5 million.
For
my
a piece
God.
of wood.
That's incredible.
Now it's up at for auction at Sotheby's, so it's going to be fun to watch and see how high. That's
Yeah, that looks like a piece of driftwood on the screen.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go to the local creek and be like, this was appraised. This is an early hockey stick. Yeah, sure.
Frank Patrick's stick right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
What's an umbrella? A stand? There's a stand just for umbrellas? That's wild.
Yeah. It's like a really
much does
tall,
it-
fancy, like metal vase, if you will, just to give you an idea. But by the front doors, people put their canes or their umbrellas and crap in them.
Oh, okay. That's like
Mhm.
an old person thing. Well, as I'm holding a cane, but
Right.
that's an old person thing. Yeah.
You're the gimp. Oh,
So
shit.
when you get into the house, you can retire your walker, and then you can grab your cane and go the rest of
Yeah.
the way for the house. Yeah.
Thanks,
I
Louis.
just don't know. I'm not saying it's not worth $3.5 million, but I would have
I'll
no
say
desire
it.
to own that.
I'll say it. It's not worth it.
It's not worth
I'll
that.
say it. Congratulations to the buyer, though.
Oh, definitely.
What if his kid was like, I couldn't start the fire? Like, no, what did you do?
Oh, it's a poker stick.
It's a poker. Oh, could you imagine? It looks like a good poker stick. Yeah.
Yeah, how would you not throw it away? It's kind of ugly to begin
Mhm.
with, so it's amazing they didn't do that. Or like you have your 10-year-old nephew over and he's sword fighting in the living room and like
I think we
banging
need
it
to
against
get
the wall.
we need to get the hockey historian who confirmed that this is a 150, 175-year-old piece of hockey stick we got here.
Sure. Next story. Baby Bobby Orr is your 2025 Norris Trophy winner.
Surprise.
More hardware for the still pretty young Cale Makar as our most beloved. Baby Bobby Orr takes his rightful award, right? He had a heck of a year. 26 years old, 80 games played, 30 goals, 62 assists for 92 points. Just the 9th NHL defenseman in league history to score 30 or more goals in a season. Not the youngest player, though, to win a second Norris Trophy. Phil, who's the youngest player to ever win his second Norris Trophy?
Cale Makar.
He's not.
Okay. Ray Bork.
Oh,
If you say Phil Housley, I'm going to lose it.
No, you know you're no longer a Senators fan because Erik Karlsson won his first Norris Trophy at 21 and his second at 25, a year younger than Cale Makar.
I knew the early one. I'm a bad Sens fan. I forgot the second one.
You suck.
I know. I do that a lot. I always forget about his second Norris. I know. Because I'm always so proud of his first one. He's a little teenager.
Oh. Here's how the voting shook out. So Makar came in first. Phil's Zach
my
Werenski.
boy. Oh, look at everyone. Hughes is the best dude. Like the Hughes is a cult. He's a cult for defense. You can't say Makar's a good defenseman without the Hughes clan being like, well, actually, Quinn's a lot better.
That was a pretty good Peter Griffin there.
More of a Quagmire kind of guy, but
Yeah. Oh, true. Believe me. That shocked nobody. when you said
Mhm.
that. Well, Makar is just entering his prime, so that's kind of exciting, right? Already a Stanley Cup champion, a 2-time Norris winner. Does McDavid have Norris Trophy? No.
No,
Cale Makar does.
no. Draisaitl
Unless,
doesn't even.
yeah, true.
No,
Unless
McKinnon,
some,
no Norris. They're not even
no,
that good.
yeah. And if listen, McKinnon's not even good enough for Makar to pass to him, let alone
Yeah. What kind of a passenger is he? Come on.
unless something catastrophic happens. Makar is well on his way to being an all-time great, and he's got the hobby hype too, which is very, very critical, as we all know. Makar is a 2019 Young Guns PSA 10 pop 2,973, 61% gem rate. Last sales on June 12th for what? 460
460.
USD. Card is down 5% over the past couple weeks, down 19% over the past 3 months. 52-week low 362, 52-week high 600.
If you ask me to find one thing that I really don't like about Cale Makar, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you right now. What I don't like about Cale Makar is that when his Young Guns came out, it created 500,000 entrepreneurs because you could buy a box of hockey cards for $119 and get a card worth $400. And it cemented this business plan of millions of dollars in all these entrepreneurs. And to this day, we still have people making comments that the hobby box, that Upper Deck is ruining the hobby because there's no card of value in the hobby box. That's if you had to ask me to one thing I don't like about Cale, it would be that he misguided thousands and thousands of our fellow hobbyists into misguided territory. I got a little package. There you go. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard anyone say that.
Yeah,
I mean,
lots of people say.
I've heard people say that, complain that
You don't-
there's not enough value in boxes.
Yeah, that's what they mean because they
Okay.
hit some card during COVID. You know what I'm trying to say? Stop trying to jam me up.
You lost me. I thought you meant never heard somebody say I have a little package.
There you go. Louis' mind's in the gutter.
You want to hear somebody say that, just go to any gas station bathroom in the Ottawa region. It's definitely written in there.
You've never even been to Ottawa. Don't throw rocks in my town. I'm allowed to
I
make
get
fun of my
pictures.
city,
I
not
get
you.
pictures. All right, well, Phil added a story, and it's about a grading company, so this should be good.
Yeah. No, just really quickly, okay? So I came across my desk that a new grading company was coming out. Surprise, but this one is full objectivity. So it's the company is called Zeegly. It's a newly launched sports card grading company that's fully automated. It's the buzzwords, AI, machine learning, etc., etc. Look it up, Zeegly.com, which I did talk to the boys about, and it's pretty funny. They changed their website today. So here, I'll read their website in a sec, but Zeegly plans to showcase its grading system at Fanatics Fest coming up. So that's coming right up. I'm sure we'll get tons of information about it from other hobby people, but I'm really curious to see. They have a grading process that's 100% AI driven. It provides $1,000 grading credit if the card is cracked, resubmitted, and receives a higher grade. Lots of marketing kind of gimmicks, but the meat on the potatoes, the meat on the bone, is that it's objective grading. So my eyes, I'm not taking any advantage of it. I'm going to let other people through and through do it. But what I really, really would like to see in our hobby would be like Tag. So I know Tag's doing mostly TCG kind of stuff now, but we did know somebody that resubmitted a card that was graded by Tag, not to get a better grade, to see if they would notice. And Tag did notice. They knew that unique individual card was graded by their system already. That's what I want in our hobby. I feel like we can get there. Josh has made some good points that maybe the tech isn't there yet. We're close. Maybe, like, how does PSA not have enough money to do this? Of course they do. But maybe they are. They're just not talking about it. I don't know. But check out this Zeegly site. And to close it off, here's what they say on Zeegly.com today, because their labels are hideous. They're not very nice. And they were very red. So this is on their front page of the Today. I will dictate. Hi, PSA. Apparently, red is now a threat. It seems Zeegly's made quite the impression. Today, we received a cease and desist letter from PSA, the legacy grading giant, claiming our label is too close to theirs in design per the red border. Not a challenge to our tech, not a concern over our accuracy, just our color choice. Apparently launching an AI-powered, fully automated grading platform for $9.99 per card is enough to make the old guard nervous. I'll stop there. You can go to the website and read more. I don't think PSA is scared of anybody, to be honest. I think that's just maybe their legal department doing their job. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think PSA is afraid of anybody or collectors or whatever. They're kind of the big dog in this world of ours. And I'm just curious to see what Ziegler's going to do. If they're going to be a disruptor, we'll see. I just want objective grading. I don't care what you call the company. I don't care if you call it Fat Kid on Birthday Cake grading. I'll buy it. That's fine. I want objective grading, and that is my goal.
Is it moist cake though?
Is it that was a moist take? Yes.
Gross. I think it's like a C- name, but that's just my opinion.
Oh, I think it's an E- name.
Mm.
But yeah.
Can I
Well,
talk
good
now?
luck.
I have some opinions on this. First of all, nothing against them. Competition is always good. It creates innovation or leads to more innovation and makes it better for consumers. So I always love that. There are so many new grading companies that pop up all the time. And so what this got me thinking of is outside of their very creative, very snarky and funny
Yeah.
responses, which you got to give them their props for that. What would make you guys take a new grading company serious other than because take a pin that for a minute, right? Because like one of the things that they're touting is $10 card grading, 15-day turnaround. Do you know how fast that turnaround, if in any measure of success, that 15-day turnaround would instantly become like 3 months? That's
Maybe
what's
their
happened
model.
in every case. So I don't put a lot of stock into that. And then once you're overwhelmed with submissions, what do you do? What does economics tell you to do to raise your price? So they would raise their price, right? That's just the laws of capitalism. So I don't put stock into that. But it's more like, what would you need to see to is it some sort of promise or feature, or would the proof need to be in the pudding for a year to get you excited about a new grading company?
I need to see the grading points. Is it a 100-point system, a 10-point system? I need to agree with that point system more than 50%, obviously.
Mhm.
And consistency. And thirdly, in priority order, the slab. The slab is the least what the common hobbyist cares the most about right now is what I care the least about. The label, the slab. I don't give a crap. Obviously I want a nice slab. I love tag slabs. I want to start a company just to slab my personal cards. I think the tag slab is amazing and beautiful, but that's not the reason
Nice
I
slab.
want to grade my card is to put it in a nice slab. I'll just buy those off Alibaba myself. I want anyone I deal with, any shop I buy a card from, any box I open, anything, I want the be all and end all third party that is never not consistent. They are always consistent on the grade, and they have metrics that do not move the goalposts. That's it. I want a pizza shop to make me a good pizza.
Yeah.
It's not complicated. Make me a good damn pizza. Grade me a card consistently all the time, and humans cannot do that. So
What kind of grading methodology do you guys prefer, though? Because I think like when you talk about grading, that's the first conversation has to be centered around methodology. And from what I understand, there's basically two methodologies. There's grading based on eye appeal and grading based on technical.
Mhm.
Because and like where PSA, I think is more considered a technical grading company, which leads you to cards that could have higher grade but lower eye appeal. Where other companies that maybe put a greater emphasis on eye appeal could have a higher grade based on that versus and have some technical flaws. What
That's
do
a
you
good
prefer?
question. I don't have a solution to that because eye appeal is a thing. That's a very good.
I don't think it's a question. It's a methodology. I don't think you can do both. I think that, and I would love more grading companies to actually come out and say that this is where the emphasis of how we grade cards, and because I think you have to buy into that before you buy into anything.
Yeah,
else.
can I add a fourth priority thing? I'd like to see not that it's owed to me. I mean, it's not owed to anybody. I mean, we live in free enterprise, democracy, the republic, whatever. I want to see behind the curtain. I want to see how the sausage is made. this secrecy from all the companies, we Upper Deck, PSA, oh my God, it's exhausting. And it would be really refreshing to see, you know how Sylvain is doing Confessions of a Card Dealer from the beginning of his journey, and he's giving a full honesty, some bad, some good, but it's all raw and authentic. I'd love Ziegler to do that. Hire a videographer to follow the owner around for a year, trying to make this work. Kind of like the SGC owner, but I mean, he got bought out now, right? That's what I want to see, how the sausage is made. It's the secrecy and manufactured mystery is exhausting.
Well, just because really there's only so many different ways to skin a cat, right? How many
more ways to skin a cat than grade a card, I think.
Well, exactly. You're right. So I don't understand what the big secret is on how we sit at a desk and grade a card.
I just think I think it would look a little quick and Mickey Mousey. I mean, how many cards are they grading? Over 1.5 million cards a month? Well, come on, man. Some of those cards aren't really being.
Okay, so we'll back up. My answer is I'm the absolute wrong person to ask anything about this with grading because don't care. If I was going to do it, it might be for a special PC card that I want in a slab, but I'm going to pick a slab I like. There's a handful of companies that they're terrible, ugly labels, ugly slabs. I want a nice looking slab and a decent label if I'm going to do it. Now, on to the whole grading part of it, though. I mean, yeah, I agree. I want to see behind the curtain a little bit here because if just PSA's grading that many cards a month, I mean, these cards aren't in somebody's hand for more than a minute. So what are you doing in less than a minute?
Consistently. I think some less than a minute. I think some more. I don't want to group everybody in, but on a consistency level, I agree with you, Louis.
Well, yeah, but it's got to be that or less, though. I mean, do the math. I mean, I don't know exactly how many people are working there, but come on.
Yeah, we're guessing. We don't know.
Don't know. Why is it such a secret?
But, there's a million good reasons for it to be such a secret because it's a competitive industry, and you don't want to give away. You could hire a video crew to detail every way you run your business and let all your competitors see it too, but probably wouldn't want that, right? And then the second thing is
be strategic.
The second thing is to combat against fraud, which is a real thing. Where we just talked about a few weeks ago.
What do you mean fraud?
The percentage of Gretzky
or fakes
that PSA catches. So there's bad actors out there. So if you say exactly here's what we do, people are gonna find a way to manipulate that system too. So I'm not trying to say that I disagree with you guys.
Problems to my solutions, Madigan. You're giving me problems to my solutions. No, I know you are correct. We're whiteboarding.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah. And I agree with that, with the whole fake, all that, and you have your usual suspects, and those are the ones that, you're going to look for this, look for that, take more time. Maybe somebody else is the one looking at those. But for average Joe in any grading company, whatever, grabbing a card, looking at it, there's only 5, 6, 7 things you're looking for. Seriously.
Okay. Well, and to your point though, Louis, and for you, Phil, too, take companies aside from it, right? It doesn't take or discount for a second the fact that PSA grades 90% of the cards. The marketplace for card grading is 1.5 million cards to 2 million cards a month, right? Who could possibly, how would you do it if you said, Phil, the Gong Show is going to create a grading company, we're going to get 2 million cards a month. How would you do it today so much better than PSA?
I would hire a professional and delegate. I don't have a solution. I'm beyond enamored by how PSA is doing it. They know how to make money. They know how to print money. They know how to logistically operate very well. Right? Regardless of, oh my God, it's 3 months. I've been waiting 3.5 months for my card. Yeah. What they're doing is insane. Even if your card is taking 3 months to get back, it's bonkers. I would probably know really well how to make it worse. I wouldn't know how to make it better. Yeah, that's not a company I want to work for. I'm not built for
Mhm.
that type of business. No way.
And then not that anybody cares, but then another reason right now I don't grade any cards. I have a handful of cards that I'd love to send in just for fun for my own, like I said, PC stuff. I
Mm.
can't afford to do it. I want to
Well, I
send
thought
10 cards. Why not? Because I'm not gonna
Well, you'd
spend.
prefer to buy more cards. I mean, you can afford to do it, but you just choose to
Yeah.
spend your money in other ways.
Okay, fine, fair, but I just think it's a
Yeah.
ridiculous price to have a card graded. 30
Yeah,
bucks, 50
price
bucks,
doesn't.
give me a break.
Well, and again, all opinions are valid,
Mhm.
but it comes back to when we, especially like, um,
That's all I'm giving. I'm not saying I'm
oh no, I know, but
right.
we can't discount the fact that you guys are like in the 0.1% of the hobby, right? Because
Oh, very
everybody
aware.
grades their
Yeah.
everybody
No,
grades
no,
their
grading's not good. There's no hate
Not
or
everybody
anger
grades
here.
their cards.
It grading is part of the hobby. I always really try to say it a lot now because I want people to know it's not going anywhere. It's only going to increase. I'm fully aware of that. But if you're Dave was at Burbank today, he found a Brady Tkachuk card that's not graded. I trust Dave's. I asked Dave. I said, "Can you look at the card? Tell me if it's clean or not." He looked at it. We talked about it. Whatever. That's not the point. I trust Dave's opinion more than any grader at any grading company.
Mhm.
And I value that. That's how. Does that mean I hate grading? No. That just means I don't need to utilize that service.
You're just lucky enough to have a Dave in this
I have a
scenario.
Dave. I have a Dave. But if I want to sell my PC or sell a card, you absolutely should grade your card with PSA.
Mhm.
You if someone says no, you shouldn't, they're just a hater for nothing.
Oh,
That's your
absolutely.
litmus test, right?
Yeah.
You gotta give someone sound, proper advice. It's just not for me. It's just not for Louis, you know.
Well, and for somebody that's new to the hobby or is not as experienced as you, Phil.
Oh, stop.
No, it's true. I mean, we're not talking about girls. We're talking about sports cards. For somebody that's
Yes.
not you're very experienced in that category. The grading I think serves an essential purpose in that, like, if I'm new to the hobby and I'm like Lane Hudson and it's important to me to have a good
Guideline.
copy of his Young Guns, and I have not yet gained the experience or added the skills to do the type of analysis you could do after 30 years. Then it's a way to hedge your bets. It's a safety net to make sure that you're getting an opinion, because
I'll
and
agree
even
to that.
Brad Hartland will say about PSA, it's what you want is you want black and white,
Yes.
right? You want concrete.
I don't want
and
it. I don't want it. It would be, if it was there, it'd be a nice extra feature of my hobby. I still wouldn't grade my raw cards. I like my cards raw. That's the point.
Well,
But
you
it'd
no
be a nice
longer need
option.
that opinion, but a lot of people
Correct.
do.
Correct. Yeah.
I think that's what it
Mhm.
comes down to.
Now I'll take it a step further though. I would like the new person. They still, you need to get them quick to look at the card. I would say if you have a PSA 10, you're going to get a hater right away to be like, that doesn't mean it's a 10. It could be an 8. Yeah. Okay. You're right. You're right. But it probably isn't a bad condition card. I don't care. You can hate PSA all you want or any grading company. If you get a PSA 10, it's probably in pretty damn good shape. Probably. Right. Now, there are, in that community of the PSA 10s, there are outliers that are like, whoa. And that's what people focus on, right? That's why I don't look at Instagram accounts. They're like, here's another PSA 10 that shouldn't be a PSA 10. It's got a bad card. Yeah, okay, there's tons of them around. Whatever. Like, I'm not going to pick on them all the time for human error or the label's misprinted. Oh my God, the label's misprinted. What a bunch of idiots. And oh my God, stop. They're human. They make mistakes. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, and then there's a few. This isn't the time to do it, but there's a few other things that
The time is nigh.
if I was going to grade it, there's other things I want to know. That some people aren't providing, and it makes no sense to me. So we can get into.
Well, I mean, condition should always be in the eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think of any other collectible on Earth, it's like, any third party opinion and condition is just that, an opinion, right? And I think that sometimes grades are taken as absolutes, because even as if there was like real AI, not like the BS fake AI that every one of these grading companies tries to say that they have. And it was very consistent. It would still be an opinion. It's just more consistently applied, because the truth of it goes down to, and nobody would do this and no company would promote it this way, but deeply understanding the methodology. So I'm grading this a 10 based on these 19 characteristics that we
Yeah.
look at to evaluate a card. And even if you would agree that based on those 19 characteristics, a 10 is an accurate grade, you may not agree with the 19 characteristics and therefore invalidate, in your opinion, that that card is a gem mint in of itself.
Bingo. That's why my number one priority, when you ask me the question, what I need to have those 19 or 100 or 5 metric points. I want to agree with more than what the amount that I'm comfortable with. There, what else is more important? There's nothing else more important than that, right?
But if you're using a 19 point, and this is what I'm going off of, and it got a 9, I'm basically giving you something to appraise. Put it that way.
Yeah, it's an appraisal value.
If I bring something to somebody to get appraised, they're going to appraise it and tell me why it got what it got.
Mm-hmm.
If you're working on a 19-point scale and your card gets a 9, what on that scale did it miss? I want to know that. And
yeah, grader's notes, baby.
That's your job. That's what you're doing. That's my biggest problem.
Yeah,
that's car somewhere and get it appraised to turn in. Well, we're only going to give you this for it. Well, why? Oh, well, there's a ding here, a ding here. This is
make graders famous. Make graders famous. Hire good-looking dudes and good-looking women, man. Make them famous. Guys won't be mad if a hot chick grades their cards. You get a 7, Phil. Like, oh, okay, thanks, Tiff. You're the best. You're the best.
This is like one of the only company things, grading cards, that I know of, that I can think of off the top of my head, where you send it to somebody to get it appraised or graded, but they don't tell you why it got what it got. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
What's the culture? We need to change the culture.
That's
the people need to fight back. We want graders notes. Well, and now they're going to be like, we do give you graders notes. Come on. You know what? We want thorough grader notes.
If you believe, though, in the principles that companies act in their own self-interest and combine that with that consumers vote with their wallet, I would argue maybe that people don't want those things because they wouldn't use PSA if they did.
No, they're using PSA.
I mean, I don't disagree. You want those things.
No,
but
the biggest bang for your buck. A PSA 10's worth more than anything else 10. It's the way it is. That's why you grade with PSA, because you get a bigger return.
Bingo. That's what people want.
Yeah.
That's what they want more than
money.
So that is up here. All the stuff you guys are talking about is way down here.
I don't believe it for a second.
Okay,
I believe it. Majority of the hobby is the money chase.
I'm not
9
saying
out of 10 comments are like, there's no value in this box. They're talking about money.
I'm not saying they don't care. It should just be part of it, regardless, whether I want it or not.
By default, yeah.
By default, I'm sending something in to get graded or appraised. If something's wrong with it, I want to know what it is. What did you see? That's wrong. That's your job. You should tell me. That's why
I'm getting an oil change, but they didn't put the pin back in.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. So let's say this Zaggly Goops or Ziegly or whatever it's called does everything you guys ever would want it to do. It's transparent. It lists everything. It's cheap to get graded, and it's so consistent. But a Zaggly 10 is worth 40% what a PSA 10 is.
Oh yeah, I would. The money. I don't give a crap. Well, for my PC, 100%. That's what I'm looking for. You just explained what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But if I want to sell my card, I'm going PSA.
Going to PSA.
Yeah. Sad.
But I still want to know what's wrong with it if something's wrong with it.
Louis, he's not budging.
I'm not gonna.
No, you shouldn't. Stand strong, brother.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's other ways people collect too. Like some people want to compete on the registry. Some people want to create more scarcity than just print run. Right. And okay, here's a common like Young Guns. How do I make it? Oh, there's 10 high gloss. Well, it's the only PSA 10. So now that makes that separates it. You can have your own opinion if it's good or better, or worse, whatever, or no different.
Well, ego collecting, right? I mean, I'd say 20% of my PC is ego collecting.
Yeah. But people want to compete on the registry. Great. It's the PSA 10. The card's awesome. And I sent mine in and got a 9, or I sent something else in because I want to be on the set registry, and I still want to know why it got what it got. That's why I'm
Mhm.
sending it there. I'm not sending it there just to get a number. That's one
Yeah.
of the reasons. But the second reason is if you're giving me an 8, why? What did I miss?
Well, and that might be a reason why you don't grade more, because you would want that information and you don't get it.
Sure.
Right.
That's one
Yeah.
reason. Yeah,
Makes sense.
We ready to move on?
Yeah.
sure.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We just took a break, and Phil wanted me to say that last conversation was a great segue. Not the scooter, the word segue.
SEGUE.
Segui?
No.
Into this
no,
next conversation about gem rates.
SEGUE is segue.
You're right.
Thank you. Segui. No wonder you can't say Guelph.
Golf!
Oh, Jesus.
I can say a certain media site. You want me to say it?
No, please don't.
See, now that I know it bothers you, that's the worst thing you could ever done.
It's because I think you're choking. I'm like
I am.
the innate behavior in me wants to save you, but I'm like, oh, he's just being an idiot.
In order to do that annoying bit, I have to almost kill myself.
Yeah, that's how committed you are.
Let's talk about gem rates. In particular, we're going to talk about base young guns, where the whole concept of gem rate is probably most significant in the hockey hobby. If you're newer to collecting or just getting back into the hobby, let's start with the definition first. So for anyone that doesn't know, gem rate is the percentage of cards that are submitted to a grading company that receives the gem mint grade. If 10 cards are submitted, 3 get a gem mint grade. It has a 30% gem rate. You following, Phil?
Yeah,
Give me a lot of numbers here. I'm worried about you.
I can't.
We need to pause. Just let me know.
No, I avoid these. Even when I was heavy in a PSA, and I avoid all these conversations. It's a 10 or nothing, 10 or bust.
All right. Well, I think there could be some value here. So try your best to pay attention. We're going to focus on PSA for this conversation. I know there's other grading card companies, but they do grade like 90% of all cards. So it's probably to not overcomplicate it. We'll just use them as an example. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but ever since 21-22 Series 1 that had the Cole Caulfield and popular at the time, Trevor Zegras, Young Guns, has come out that the Young Guns gem rates have been lower than they were for many years prior to that. Part of the reason why players like Kirill Kaprizov and Jack Hughes have 2 of the highest PSA 10 pop counts for their Young Guns ever of any hockey card is their gem rates are relatively high.
Mm-hmm.
So Jack Hughes is 2019 Series 1. He has 5,864 PSA 10s because of a 73% gem rate. Kirill Kaprizov was a 2020 Series 2 where there's 5,825 PSA 10s and a 65% gem rate. Let's compare that to the guys I mentioned a minute ago, Caulfield and Zegras. They're both from 2021 Series 1. Caulfield has just 3,687 PSA 10s. Zegras 1,343 PSA 10s, but a 32% and 29% gem rate, respectively. So if you just look at pop count, you might conclude, or a new collector might conclude that, well, Kaprizov is more popular in the hobby than Caulfield. And, that's assumption people can make because there's 2,100 more Kaprizov PSA 10s than Caulfield PSA 10s. But again, this is where gem rate becomes an important factor. 11,621 Cole Caulfield based Young Guns have been graded by PSA compared to 8,913 Kaprizov Young Guns. So while there's 2,100 more Kaprizov PSA 10s, actually about 2,700 more Caulfield Young Guns have been graded. Right. So that just plays a huge factor on the overall graded population of a card. And all this should correlate into card values because the more scarce a card itself is, or the grade of that card, the higher value that card will typically have, right? You know, the whole eBay 101 thing, right? Everyone wants to put that in their listings. And going back to where we started, something happened in 2021. So I'm just going to roll through some gem rates here. We talked about Zegras and Caulfield at 32%, 29%. Then in 2022 Series 1, you have Boldy at 25%, Beniers 31%. Series 2 that year, Slavkovsky 26%, Wyatt Johnston 30%. Last year, Series 1, Matthew Nyes 26%. Luke Hughes 28%. Then Series 2 is a little bit higher, Bedard at 42%, Leo Carlson 49%. And that brings us now back to the most recent releases. And the Series 2 hasn't been out long enough to have really great data. But if you go back to Series 1, we have Lane Hudson Shimmy Shakes, 26% gem rate. Cutter Gauthier 30% and Logan Stankoven 34%, so that's sort of the lay of the land on gem rates. Now, went pretty detailed on the bit, but I thought it was important context for the conversation part of the discussion. Oh, I should mention too that Caulfield and Zegras, like 2021 Series 1, was printed in the USA. So this isn't a USA versus Italy thing. There's been flagships been printed in both countries and a equally poopy gem rates in certain circumstances. And again, values based on scarcity. The popularity of sports cards has grown since the pandemic. I might argue that maybe these lower gem rates are a net positive for the hobby. Right? Do we want every Young Guns? Because Upper Deck will never tell you. But some people think there's 50,000 Young Guns printed. Some people think 75,000, 100,000, 200,000, whatever the number is. Is it good for the hobby, like in the case of Bedsy, who now has 7,196 Young Guns? So based on the popularity of like Lane Hudson, if he had Jack Hughes gem rate, there would be 5,000 Lane Hudson Young Guns PSA 10s right now too.
I don't know if that would. Yeah, I don't know if that. It's a good question. I don't think I have a strong answer to you. I do have pushback on the year though, because Cole Caulfield in 2021, you said it's not a USA Italy thing. I'm gonna a little bit disagree on that. I know that's not the main thing we're talking about, but I'm 2 cases through 2021-22 Upper Deck. It is a atrociously damaged set. Yeah. And that year is notorious. Same with 1984 O-Pee-Chee. I'm pretty sure it's 84.
But if you look at the gem rates, though, ever since then, they're all about the same.
And where have they? Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I'm not disagreeing with you like printed. That. Well, and that's the
other side. There are certain years, like 84 O-Pee-Chee is a bad year that everybody knows. It's a bad year. That's a bad produced year. So I just had to say that. Now, saying that, I don't know what the correlation is. If there was more Caulfields as much as Jack Hughes, maybe people are getting quick and they're like, well, that doesn't gem, I don't want to pay for it, or there's just less action on the card, right?
Yeah, well, I think you see this, like a lot of people point back where we look at all the time, like guys that played in their Young Guns is 2012, 2013, 2014, when we know that Upper Deck printed a lot less product. And you'll get a guy that, we feel is not at all a hobby superstar will have Brad Marchand's Young Guns goes for about $500 because there's 200 PSA 10s, right? So it doesn't matter in the value of a card. If there's 200 Jack Hughes Young Guns PSA 10s, they'd be worth a lot more than they are right now. I'll tell you that.
There's got to be over 300. I stopped caring. Even under over 200. There's only
no difference in 1,000 and 7,000 to you.
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just a bigger laugh, I guess, when I find out. You can. So if you look at there's a guy on YouTube, Neo Cards and Comments. He's very big on this kind of stuff. He doesn't talk about hockey cards really, but he has at least 2 episodes a year. Go check him out, and he goes into great detail. Vintage and modern and patch and auto, they all follow the same line. I just think right now getting a PSA 10 is very difficult. Modern, vintage, anything. The grading is hard. It is scrutinized, and it won't always be. It'll go back up. And some people say,
Do you
oh,
think that's a
modern
good
stuff.
thing if that's the case? If that's
I
really
don't
what happened?
know. I don't know. And that I don't have an opinion on the philosophy of it or the integrity of it. That's not what I want to get into.
Mhm.
When it comes to the money part, I don't know, Josh. I'm not that's not up for debate though. I can keep talking about PSA 100%. Take the last 20 years, get a graph, it flows. It flows like a flow chart. Some years are much harder to get 10s, some other years are much easier to get 10s. How that
Yeah.
correlates to spendy, I don't know. I'm sorry, I wish I had more on this topic. It's interesting. Very
Mhm.
interesting. What do you think, Louis?
If there's take the Bedsy, for example, or the pop count on Bedsy is 7196. That's how many have been graded, or that right?
No, that's at less than a 50% gem rate. So more than 15,000 have been
Okay,
submitted to PSA.
so I guess that my easy answer for this is less would be more better. I don't want, what here, let me go back up here really
Well,
quick. I don't
Do you
want
want more?
I mean, Jack Hughes and Kaprizov sitting at almost 6,000 of these cards. Come on, this shouldn't be worth. This is $100 card all day long.
Well, it's a market cap conversation, isn't it? Don't we just get to a market cap type of conversation?
yeah, you can. I mean, that's one way to look at it. I think there's a whole other side of this too that we have to enter into the equation. It's depends on like where you sit on the wax side or the secondary market collector singles buyer side, right? I think the lower the gem rate, the better for a singles buyer. If I'm a guy that likes to open wax, it doesn't in knowing that geez, Elaine Hudson Young Guns has a
Oh, yeah.
26% gem rate.
Mhm.
That means that 3 out of the 4 you hit are something, noticeably
That's a
some
good.
noticeable flaw with it. And I think that's a good. Let me run you through a scenario real quick, right? So right now, if you buy a Lane Hudson Young Guns PSA 10 on the secondary market, you're going to pay about 400 US.
Okay.
I don't know if you think that's good or bad or high or low. For a rookie
What?
defenseman, it's a lot of money, right? 400. But let's figure out because we know how much money it would cost you on average to pull your own Lane Hudson Young Guns, get it graded, and come back with at least 110. So there's 50 Young Guns in a Series 1 release. There's 6 Young Guns in a box. So it takes 8 1/3 boxes to hit a single on average Lane Hudson Young Guns, right? So you're going to spend $996.60 based on a $120 box
Mhm.
on average to get one Lane Hudson Young Guns. Now, if there's a 26% gem rate, you need to buy on average 3,845 US dollars of Series 1 hobby boxes to get one Lane Hudson Young Guns PSA. No, you're going to get other cards too, but if that was your goal to get one Series 10 or one PSA 10 of a Lane Hudson Young Guns, it would cost almost $3,900
Right.
to do that. And
And
so
you're gonna
in
go buy
that
it.
respect, it makes a $400 eBay purchase seem like kind of a good deal, doesn't it?
I agree. Yeah, but I feel like we're talking two different things. So, like that, obviously, we've always preached it too. If you don't go open boxes to try to get what you want, go buy the card you want because you're going to save a boatload of money. And then the other side of this, I'm looking at though. But if there's a bajillion of them out there, why it shouldn't be that much of a draw? Or hey, look it, guys, I got a PSA 10. So what? Or whatever guy. But
Yeah.
hey, there's 7,000 of them.
Well, let's take the perspective for a minute of somehow Upper Deck loses their mind and makes the three of us in charge of production.
Oh, I would love production. No, you can have that job. Yeah.
Well, you got it for now.
All right.
And I think we could probably agree, and you guys tell me if you don't, that if every card that came out of a pack was a PSA 10 or Gem Mint 10 quality, that wouldn't be the best for the hobby, right? That part of the condition issues is it does create scarcity, especially
Mhm.
for more common cards, right? It's like to find a certain card that's centered is a big deal in this hobby. It's like a Gretzky refractor blast from the past, right? You put a huge premium on one that's centered versus not, and that just makes, in your mind, the good copy is a lot more scarce than just any old
Yeah.
copy of that card.
Great example. All it makes, because that makes all the difference. All
Right?
the difference.
So funny though. Yeah, I get it, and it makes sense. But here now we're in like okay, it's just sports cards, but now if it's not perfect, it's okay. Companies can
Well,
make
yeah, if you bought a brand new car for 50 grand and
Mhm.
a fender was bent, you'd be returning that thing right away and be like, I want a perfect fender, right? So it is a nuance of this industry. And so, but I'm going to suggest that if every card was perfect out of the pack, it would be bad for the hobby
Why?
because
He just-
there's no scarcity.
That's
Well,
really, Derek. I just
I was
told you why there's
I was-
no
I
male
was
models.
processing other things.
Oh,
while-
no, that's okay. But now the flip side of that though is, and this is like, I think the more interesting question is a 26% gem rate. Is that too far to the other side?
Yeah, it's pretty low, man. 1 in 4. That's
1
crazy.
in 4 being,
Yeah, just like everything else, the pendulum has swung too far the other way. I'm all for corrections, but holy moly, 26%. I mean, that doesn't affect me, but I feel bad for, guys that have a rhythm in this kind of game. What about a guy who just went out and bought a case of 1920 Upper Deck Flagship? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get Jack Hughes, and then he gets an 8. You can send 10 Jack Hughes in right now. You're not gonna get them gemmed like the gem rate of Jack Hughes. You're gonna not even get half of them as 10s, and they could be. It's just not the climate, right?
well, if you
now.
do like the grade and flip game, like these guys, we know that by
Yeah,
5 cases of flagship, it may be better just to sell them raw than to try to
Yeah.
grade them at this point, because we know a PSA 9 is worthless essentially. And
oh, I gobble them up, man. I'm gobbling up 8s and 9s everywhere. Yeah, it's great.
Bring them this way.
Yeah,
and any card that's not graded, and we all do it, right, is like the implication of I would say many buyers as well, it might be a 10. Right?
we don't think
That-
like, yeah, that doesn't, yeah, it's
That's how we look at raw cards. And so
yeah.
I just think inherently I feel like all these cards, and again, base young guns is the best example because there's a lot of them and they get graded frequently. We're hovering like 25 to 30% gem rates consistently over a 4-year period. That's really low, and it means that the quality of these cards coming out of the packs is pretty low.
Sure be nice to be able to look at something and know why they're so bad.
I would say I don't think that means the quality is low. I think the great one does not have something to do with the other. I'm very happy. I just ripped extended. I ripped Parker's. The cards were great. Saying that, my Gretzky 52 Parky's got a big ding on the side, and I'm okay with that because it's mine. It's mine. I'm not even upset. I'd rather it didn't have it, but poop happens. That's okay. I'm very happy with the quality of the cards that have come out, and there's mistakes. We got to be a little bit more forgiving.
I'll be more perfect. You said forgiving. I'll be more forgiving on something that's like maybe got a tilt. Was print off, kilter printed, or it's off centered one way or the other. But if I got cards coming out of packs that the corner's bent or there's a ding in the side, that
quality control
okay
kind of
with.
stuff in the factory.
I'm
Yeah.
not okay with that. Yeah.
Well, I worked at a print company. I've said this before, so sorry I'm repeating the statement, and we just made like forms for tax companies, and we had like a 1/32 of an inch tolerance. Like,
Really?
you can print stuff perfect. It's just like your whole conversation about like grading and AI and consistently. Of course, it's possible, right? It's more of, well, time on the press is money. And so a way to save money is to speed things through the press and sacrifice quality.
So they could do 100% quality, but at 1/10 of the speed, 95% quality, 4/10 of the speed. Like pick your poison.
Yeah,
right?
it would be, and the economics aspect of it, it would be way more inefficient to produce cards. You couldn't use the machines that they do to sort them and collate them and pack them. They probably have to be hand packed with people in white gloves, and a box of flagship would cost you $600.
Do you think they
So,
search? Do you think they search people in and out of the building? Ha, you'd have to search me, I
I
tell
don't
you.
know.
I'd get
No.
creative.
I don't know, like, how big of a point there is to this whole conversation. The main thing of that is I thought it's interesting
That
that
it's dropping so much.
it's dropping
Well,
so much, and
the
for
hobby
people to,
notices.
to pay
Hobby
attention
Mhm.
and to
Yeah.
factor that in to how you choose to collect. So that's probably the big take.
Yeah, I'd go if I was the guy that had to have 10s and graded and needed 10s all the time, I'd be losing my marbles, if that was my style, but I guess I just love ripping open a box or getting a card and looking at it and liking it for what it is. It's mine, it's cool, going in my box or my top loader binder, and I'm happy with it.
When I bought that Crosby Playmakers Theater, it was an 8. I didn't put it in my video, but off camera, the guy's buddy that I bought it from, he's like, "Yeah, I've been wanting to buy that off him for so long. I can't find one thing wrong with the card. But the way PSA is grading, I'll never get a 10 for another few years. I should have sent it in during COVID." That's what, like, it's just common. Like, he's a dealer, he's an old fart. He knew his easier window to get a 10 was a few years ago, but he didn't do it, and he still has the opportunity today, and he wouldn't, because he knows it's a tough. It could get a 10, probably not, right? It's just, refracting card, old Fleer. It's probably get a 7 now, So, and he's right. I cracked it out, man. Perfect card for me. I can't find one blemish, it's beautiful. So
Yeah, so we don't know like what's causing this, right? The root cause could be the most likely are that either the cards on the pack have more QC issues, or grading is tougher, or both.
Well, isn't we're staying on the PSA thing? And weren't they grading tougher now? The scale changed, so
I'd like to be a fly on the wall in some of their higher management team meetings. I think that would be quite eye-opening. Just saying.
Or maybe Upper Deck decided that they needed to cut costs and started, if the printer was on speed 6, moved it to speed 8.
Yeah. Warp
That
8, engage.
That could be part of it too. Knowing that these are going to be, there's going to be more issues because we're pumping them through machines faster.
Well,
Right.
our dopey little podcast will never know, but we can speculate.
We're good at speculating.
Yeah. I can't spell that, but
you can spell segue though, which is kind of impressive.
I can spell segue. Speculating. I can spell speculating.
Okay. We'll take your word for it.
Thank you.
Mint Ink is a friend of the show and Gong Show partner. Be sure to hit up mintink.ca for all the new hobby releases. Tons out right now. You can still chase some OV buybacks, autos, and extended series. Get them on mintink.ca. Or if you're in the mood for some 24-25 ice, which we're going to talk about in a second, or Phil's love of his life, 24-25 Parker's Champions. Can't find a stepmom for Hasselhoff, but gets all the champions he wants.
My cardboard queen.
Cardboard Queen. And remember, too, that Mint Ink can ship anywhere in Canada. Mintink.ca. If you're in the Greater Toronto area, please stop by their amazing store in Vaughan, where, again, you can do it all from boxes, singles, consignment, grading, and then their famous and fun Breaks After Dark. Thank you to Mint Ink. Well, boys, we're now 1 week past the release of 24-25 Upper Deck Ice. Upper Deck has been pumping out new products left and right. But a little hard to keep up.
Baby.
They're going to make you go broke on your show, Phil.
What's that?
Upper Deck's going to make you go broke on your show here.
We already have, pretty much, yeah.
Well, as our tradition now on this show, we like to wait 7 days after a product comes out, then make dramatic overreactions on the products based on very early secondary market sales. So today we're going to take a look at the top 5 early 24-25 ice sales. It's fun to see, I guess, what cards are and collectors are gravitating to. And remember, any sale made via eBay has been verified as paid for in Terapeak.
Oh, and what a pain in the butt that was.
Yeah. So some products are easier to search for than others. If you just search for like 24-25 ice, you got to remember that about 1 trillion like football and baseball and basketball parallels have ice in them.
Put Upper Deck ice.
It doesn't help.
No.
This one's just a pain, but that's all right. At number 5, Will Smith, Ice Premier's auto patch out of 10 with a black patch. Interesting. Sold for $375 US on June 12th via eBay.
Out of all the color on that jersey, you got the black patch.
Yeah.
Not even a fin.
No.
Not even a fin. Number 4, Phil's good buddy, Shimmy Shakes, Lane Hudson.
Hey, that's a nice
Gold
card.
rookie auto patch. On a 49, sold for $450 US on June 13th via eBay.
That's on card.
Yeah, these are all on card this year.
Nice.
One color patch, but it does have a lot of threading, ziggly zaggly threads.
No, look, too. I see a little blue there. There's a little
Tiny bit
blue.
of blue. Tiny bit of blue.
Yeah.
You guys might not be able to see it. I got it on my bigger screen, but if you go back here, right at the bottom of this patch, like over the I, T, and H, it looks like there's some stitching there too.
Oh,
You
Yeah,
might
and
have a
some-
winner.
Some
Very
aqua in the
exciting.
top
Mhm.
right.
All right.
Maybe.
oh yeah, top right. I do see a little bit of
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Where's my mouse? Right here.
yeah. And
Right
now
here.
look at the top right corner. There's a tiny bit of teal right in one of the
Oh, right
indentations.
there.
Yeah.
What is teal? Teal's blue and green smushed together, right? Is that teal?
Yeah, like sea foam or sea green, teal.
Don't ask me.
Yeah.
Who's colorblind?
Mhm.
Sticking on Lane Hudson for number 3, we have the Ice Premier's Auto out of 99, sold for $510 US on June 17th. So you have a patch auto out of 49 that sells for $450, and the regular just auto Ice Premier's out of 99 sells for $510.
Nice.
Interesting.
I think that just has to deal with kind of the patch.
Maybe.
I mean, if it was a 3
Well,
color,
even the Ice Premier's card brand still has a little bit of weight, probably.
sure.
You know, Hudson's got a very old school profile look to him for like old school hockey, like 20s and 30s. He
Yeah.
looks like he could be in one of those pictures we always talk about.
Mm-hmm. He's small enough for the time period.
Yeah, he's a little guy.
Number 2 is Macklin Celebrini, the Sub-Zero rookie green auto, sold for $585 US on by eBay on June 12th. Now, Louis had asked me if I'd seen his face.
Yeah.
So
Have you
apparently,
seen this? Either one of you seen it yet?
no.
Oh, you put that there. I was like,
I had
I had
to-
to
I had
blink
to
a
do
few
this
times.
really
I thought I was having a
So-
stroke or something.
No, have you ever seen those like shorts on, not like wearing shorts, but like YouTube shorts or whatever, where there's like a masculine dog and he's strutting his stuff, and then there's another one laying on his back, and they go, "Hi, my
Yeah.
name's Jeff."
Yeah.
Okay, so
Is this Jeff?
this is definitely Jeff.
Oh, it's Jeff. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
bad hockey mouth. Very unfortunate.
he
Not
looks like the new
his eyeballs. Hi, my name is Jeff.
he looks like that actor that in that really good show that got really, really not good, The Jackal. He looks like that actor, and he was in that new Harry Potter kind of
Never seen Harry Potter.
British lad. Doesn't matter.
British.
British.
Number 1, Macklin Celebrini Ice Premiers out of 99, sold for $675 US on June 13th by eBay.
Whoa, that's big bucks, eh? For an
I like the look of the Ice Premiers 99s this year. That's a nice looking card.
ask me in 10 years what that card's worth. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm an idiot for saying that. That could be well worth a lot more.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
It just feels like this product kind of got lost in the sauce of the cup coming out, and
It's
whatever
hanging
was-
on its pedigree, and I think its
Mhm.
pedigree is running out. Kibbles and bits and bits and bits.
I think Ice needs a refresh a little bit. I thought
Yeah, it
that
needs
was
to be
coming.
cool. I like the name Ice, but we need a new logo. It needs to be sexy, like black, like the Hawks colors and Mighty Ducks. That's what Ice needs to be.
They
Like
should have
violet and like mix UD black with Ice and birth something.
Black Ice.
Come on, Billy.
Black ice.
Black Ice.
I like
Well,
that.
if it does get a little lost in the sauce, it might be given that a lot of the patch autos, especially for vets, are game used on card autos. You could have a little kind of like Parker's Champions thing here, where you might be able to get some deals, and they don't look bad. There's just
Get
a
the
lot going
patches.
on though.
Get the patches out of Ice and out of Velour. Get them out of there.
No, the patches on last year's horizontal ice cards are awesome.
Oh, we can have them all.
Thanks.
Send your patch cards to Louis. Ice.
Last thing in new product releases is 24-25 Parker's Champions to come out today, the day we're recording. Just want to some off the top instant reactions. We'll start with our boy Philip here. You liking what you're
super
seeing?
amazing. Yep, phenomenal. Inserts are incredible. Huge fan. If I have to pick one thing I don't like, it's that they changed legends to greats.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna have Patrick on from Upper Deck to talk about this set next week, and we can ask him that.
I am gonna ask it's not pass out Pat, party time Pat.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend pass out Pat. Yeah, I don't want to call him.
He could probably be pass out Pat.
Yeah. Jason Masher will be like, why does Phil call you pass out Pat? I swear to God, the guy's an idiot. My name's Party Time Pat. I never passed out.
We want to welcome back Cocaine Pat to the show from Upper Deck.
Well, now we're talking. Now we can have. All right, let's wrap it up.
Why is your name Cocaine Pat? I don't know.
Did you hear the boys did a podcast in 16 minutes? Where'd they go? I don't know. They've been missing for 3 days.
Phil has 7 veins sticking out of his forehead right now.
Phil made it to the States? Yeah, he's all the way in Mexico. Someone's got to go pick him up. No bueno.
Hell.
Any other I really like the lenticular cards too. Now that I've seen them. The one that's the info color, which is like the TV, sort of like the 1966-esque like Topps Bobby Orr TV card thing, but it's motion. And then the other one that has like I saw the Gretzky and or was it Gordie Howe and Ovechkin?
No, you saw Gordie Howe and Ovechkin.
Mm-hmm.
Which I originally laughed last week when we were talking about it, and then I saw it today, and I was like, whoa, what a card. 7 days, I've drastically changed my opinion. Who would have thought?
Now that you've seen the patch window too, is that still bothering you as much?
Yeah, it's I'm trying not to talk about it. Thanks for bringing it up. Yeah, I'm not the biggest. I went crazy the first year. I don't think there's a player who has a patch card that year that I don't have. I'm scared to do a tally because I know I'll just want to finish it off.
My favorite part about you is
I'm gonna do this.
I know what we've learned is that you get, I hate the word triggered, but it's only one, by these like inflection points that send you like crazy in one direction. Because I remember I was there for the birth of your Parkhurst obsession.
The Gretzky Black, The Gretzky Black, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we were looking for cheap boxes. You had to get talked into getting Parkhurst. You're like 12 packs in, and you think it's the dumbest product ever, and then you hit a Gretzky Black, and soon, now you're like buried in cases at your house, and that was it.
Cardboard Queen birthed the Phil, Parkhurst Phil, yeah. She popped me out of her birth channel.
Well, there were only 2 I could find on eBay that came up, and the other one was a Matty Tkachuk, but there wasn't much in it. But this one at least has 3 colors.
Oh no!
Not too bad.
Sydney's lost his neck. Where is it gone? Uncle Festa.
I don't know.
Other than the patch window's small, in the right patch, it looks okay.
I don't like the circle. I'm a rectangle guy. Right. Josh is a parallelogram guy.
Parallelogram guy.
All right.
Personal pickups. Phil, what you got?
I got to catch up.
I didn't get any cards this week.
Really?
Well, no, but I'm not showing them to you. No. I'm doing my own thing, man. I'm in my own world the last 5 days.
We know that.
I'm losing my mind. No.
All right, Baba Louie, what do you got for personal pickups?
I did get one because I was sick of looking at it just sitting there, and I didn't have it. So I finally grabbed a 23-24 O-Pee-Chee Platinum Nico Hischier Orange Checkers. Just been sitting there forever. It just said, "Buy me, damn it! Quit looking at me."
All right, I like those cards.
So do
Very
I.
nice. I had 3. The first one I'm very excited about. It's from one of my favorite sets that I just probably like more than most people. But it's from the 2020 extended series, the Holographics Ionics Easter egg set. Patrick, whoa! Very fun card. I have 3 now. I think I'm Lemieux, Gordie Howe, and Waugh.
Do you have this one now, or is this a picture from something else?
Of course he doesn't have it.
Well, no, you never know. 99% of the time he doesn't, but
That's for me to know, and for me
Yeah,
to know.
no, that's a hard no.
I would hope you'd say no, because if you took this picture, you're terrible.
Yeah, it's from, I got it on my card post.
Okay.
And then I got a 2017 Upper Deck Sidney Crosby Clear Cut Superstars. These are super nice in hand, very shiny. Raw off ComC. And then a 2024 O-Pee-Chee Premier Kaprizov Diamond Rainbow out of 75.
So
Excellent card.
Love 'em.
Excellent. It looks like a Cabbage Patch doll.
It's cute.
I'll trade you my Bedsy for this one.
No.
You sure?
I love this card. Yeah, big fan of this card.
Isn't that funny though? I'd rather get rid of the Bedsy. I'd rather have this. I don't want the
Slapshot.
Bedsy.
Well, you're a Wild fan.
Yeah, I'm not a Bedsy guy.
That makes sense. Yeah. How do you have a Bedsy?
I pulled it.
You pulled a Diamond Premier Bedsy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All
Josh
right.
was there. He witnessed
Yeah, it's probably
I
sleeping.
tried to steal it, but he caught me.
it. Yeah.
If you like the episode, please leave a rating and review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, you want to support us,
Nah.
want to chat with us on the Discord server, you can join our Patreon for as little as $5 US a month. Link is in the show description of both podcast and YouTube app, on our Instagram, TikTok profile, and our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, or you can just go to Patreon directly, patreon.com, and just search for Hockey Cards Gong Show. We're on social media. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gong Show podcast is a production of Dogbox Ventures LLC. Baba Louie, take us out, buddy.
Bye.
It was the Gong Show. We're dropping the facts. Hockey cards on fire. No holding us back. Josh looking sharp, the face of the scene. Feeling pork chop pants, rocking it clean. Baba Louie in the booth, he's the man with the plan. The best producer in all the land. Gong Show Nation, let's hit the flow. It's the Hockey Cards Gong Show. Let's go, let's go. Wanna say the men in show.
Suck it, Trebek.